She vanished from a cruise ship without a trace. No distress call. Just gone. For decades, Amy Lynn Bradley's disappearance haunted investigators, tormented her family, and baffled the public. But now, Netflix has reopened the world's curiosity, and what they uncovered is disturbing. This is not just a case of a missing person. It may be one of the darkest, most unsettling mysteries ever documented at sea. March 1998. Amy Lynn Bradley, 23 years old, was on a Caribbean cruise with her family aboard Rhapsody of the Seas. She was vibrant, athletic, full of life, recently graduated from college, a future ahead of her. Her father, Ron Bradley, last saw her asleep on the cabin's balcony at 5:30 a.m. By 6 a.m., she was gone. No screams, no struggle, just an empty balcony, and a family instantly plunged into fear and confusion. Ship staff were slow to act. Authorities were not notified promptly. The cruise ship kept sailing. A public announcement was only made after most passengers had already disembarked. This delay, those critical hours, may have been the difference between rescue and tragedy. Amy's shoes, cigarettes, and ID were all still in the room. But Amy? Nowhere. Within days, witnesses claimed to have seen Amy after her disappearance. A Canadian tourist said she saw a distressed woman matching Amy's description on the beach, accompanied by two men. A U.S. Navy sailor in 1999 claimed a woman approached him in a Caribbean brothel and whispered, "My name is Amy Bradley. Help me." Years later, a blurry image of a woman on an adult website, nicknamed Jazz, sparked new terror. The resemblance was undeniable. Could Amy have been kidnapped? Trafficked? Netflix's new docuseries reopens the file and the wound. It features never-before-seen interviews, declassified documents, and chilling expert analysis. The docuseries alleges the cruise line may have withheld evidence. Certain leads were never investigated. Amy may have been targeted even before the cruise began. The series presents a theory many feared, that Amy was abducted, and the truth was long buried at sea. The docuseries examines Royal Caribbean's actions. Surveillance footage wasn't secured. No lockdown was issued immediately. Dogs weren't brought aboard until far too late. Critics say, cruise lines often prioritize reputation over responsibility, and Amy's disappearance shows how cracks in that system can swallow someone whole. Amy's parents, Ron and Iva, refused to accept silence. They sold possessions to fund private investigations, traveled to dangerous places chasing anonymous tips, faced scam artists, fake psychics, and criminals, just for one sliver of truth. They described the pain of holidays without her, of birthdays where the candles go unlit, of listening to her bad voicemails, hoping to hear her voice again. Their heartbreak never eased, but neither did their hope. Could Amy have been part of a human trafficking operation? Experts interviewed in the Netflix docuseries say yes. The signs: Amy was attractive, athletic, and traveled without a large group. She reportedly caught the eye of several crew members. The ship made port in locations linked to known traffickers. One theory is that Amy was scouted, watched, then taken by people who knew exactly what they were doing. Amy's story might be the most famous, but it's not the only one. Over 200 people have vanished from cruise ships since the year 2000. The docuseries shows a disturbing lack of accountability. No central investigative body, jurisdiction loopholes, few legal obligations for cruise lines to report incidents. Amy's case became the poster child for a dangerous trend: disappearances at sea with no justice. Since the release of Netflix's series, Amy's name has returned to headlines. New tips have emerged. Online forums, podcasts, and media outlets are reigniting the discussion. Some viewers claim they recognized people in the docuseries. Others say they saw Amy years ago and never connected the dots until now. Could a resolution finally be within reach? It wasn't until several days after Amy disappeared that the FBI became involved. 25 years later, new viewers are hearing it for the first time. Maybe the most powerful force in this mystery is the refusal to forget. Netflix's series didn't just revisit an old mystery, it reshaped it. Renewed calls for regulation of cruise lines, new pressure on the FBI to reopen investigations, internet sleuths mobilized, analyzing footage, remapping timelines. Some say it's too late, but for Amy's family, late is better than never. The documentary ends not with answers, but with haunting questions. Why was the ship's crew so hesitant to cooperate? Were authorities intimidated by the cruise industry's power? And most importantly, is Amy still alive? If Amy's story moved you, don't let it end here. Share her name, share her photo, demand safer cruise protocols. Because if it could happen to Amy, it could happen to anyone. And maybe, just maybe, someone out there still knows the truth.